Hello. Today is day 21 and I had another very confronting dream. And they're all things that in the past I've been very either insecure about or they're surrounded in trauma, which has been really uncomfortable. And this morning I sort of just sat down and I was like, okay, I need to acknowledge the discomfort I have with being like detached from my cultures and cultures which have a lot of pride around them and which I do have pride around, but no knowledge. And then I sat with myself and I journaled and I really thought about Te Reo and Te Reo Māori and like wanting to learn more and kōrero. Like in my everyday like language and not feeling that shame of not knowing but just implementing it. So I'm gonna start talking with my dad because he wasn't connected to the culture. Like, I don't know if I've said before, but his dad passed away when he was really young, and so he got sent to boarding school, and so he wasn't around his mum to learn the culture, and she had trauma around the culture from being like abused and stuff. And I think I'm carrying some of that shame too. So I do want to learn and I want to be able to speak and put it in my like just say it. And like even my ponamu, like I haven't worn it in ages. It's almost like there's a weight of not knowing and having it. And with Greek there's some discomfort, but I think it's around the shame and like racism and shit like that. But you have to understand that individuals, the way one person acts around the culture and the prejudice that they hold is not the culture. The culture is the language, the dance, the love and the kindness and the joy of being that thing, and the music too, and I want to implement it into my music as well. But I think I've just felt a lot of shame of not knowing, and I think with Greek that one's a bit easier for me because my mom has the knowledge. Like I can just go and talk to her, and I have my grandparents. I don't have my grandparents when it comes to being Māori and like, yeah. So, and I also really want to, I've been wanting to do this for ages, but I want to start connecting with the sky and the land and the seas, and I've always done it, but it hasn't been like a consistent practice, and I want to make that a consistent practice of talking and being grateful and connecting and talking and noticing the patterns. Like I've always had a huge interest in like food and foraging and like eating off the land and knowing like what the land can give and what I can give to the land. But it's been really confronting these last few days. I feel like in knowing myself, maybe I've unlocked some things that I haven't wanted to know about myself. So it's gotten really hard. Like I was breezing through. I'm like, wow, this is great. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said that these last 3 days, especially with the dreams being like, hey. And if you're wondering what the dream about the culture was, I was in a classroom and all these kids were like white kids, and one of the girls said something and I said, that's racist. Like I said to her, I was like, that's racist what you just said. And she said, why do you care, you're white? And I just like felt a lot of shame because I couldn't be like strong in my culture, I couldn't be strong in my knowledge, and I couldn't be strong in who I was, and I just sort of like withered down and just felt so much shame and it was so terrible. Like it felt so terrible, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. So it's my responsibility now to educate myself. I'm too old for this shit. But yeah. Bye. Hey guys, It's day 21, and I had a really beautiful day. Like, I ended up having a pretty heavy morning with the dreams, as I've been saying. They've really been reminding me things about myself which I've tried to forget but have needed to work through. And I spent a long time journaling this morning and just writing how I was feeling and the complexities of just like discomfort. And I'm just really grateful for the ability to have this spoken into me, to have this something that I'm being made conscious of about myself, because I'd honestly forgotten, and I felt really quite a lot of bliss in my ignorance of not knowing and forgetting and remembering. It's brought up a lot of stuff for me, but I am honestly at the end of it quite grateful. And today I enjoyed like most just taking it slow, and the last few days I felt like this deep connection to wanting to talk to the sky and connect with the sky and the sun and the stars and the moon, and just like, I don't know, I feel this energy pulling towards there, and every day something else tells me to reach towards it and acknowledge it and speak to it and be part of it. And even in the cultural things, like I was doing some research, and like I've always known that like Polynesians are very much voyagers, very much connected to the sky and the stars, and it's just strange because like the last few days I've been just like gravitating towards that so much, and now there's another thing which is gravitating me towards it too. But I was really grateful to that. Today I played some piano, which felt so good, and yesterday I watched The Little Prince, and it's one of the episodes he's in this music planet, and they said we all need to play our music to be happy, and I just felt that very much today when I was playing my instrument. I was like, and I felt it last night when he said that. I was like, oh yeah, it really does make me happy. And I walked around and I just had my feet to the ground, and I felt really good and slowed down. And tomorrow I really want to sit down with my journal and work through the 2 other things which I had uncomfortable dreams about. And I feel like I also need to preface, these videos are very much for myself. I don't think about them much. I just try and communicate how I feel in the moment. One day this might be something for me to reference back to, but I'm very much making them for myself to be able to talk about how I feel and not just intellectualize how I feel, but also be able to express it. And it's been really eye-opening for me, to be honest. Like seriously, like I feel like I haven't had this much growth in such a short period of time, and I feel so much more trust and kindness within myself, towards myself, and I'm just very grateful. I think everybody should do this. Like, you gotta sit with yourself, you gotta know what you want, you gotta know what you don't want, you gotta be open to the changes, open to yourself, and it's all gonna be okay. It seriously will all be okay. But just keep showing up for yourself. And these are the questions that I've been asking. What am I grateful for? Today I'm grateful for confrontation of myself. What I enjoy most today and why. I enjoyed going for a walk and sitting down and looking up at the sky because I just felt connected to something bigger than me. What didn't I enjoy today and why? I didn't enjoy the initial discomfort of those feelings of the dreams. What creative idea do you have today? I had this idea. I called Tayan today, or Tayan called me, and I was saying, oh, imagine I disappear for like a few years, and then I come back and you have a child, and this child sees me, and I'm like, and we just made this whole little fake scenario in our heads, and it was really fun. the helpful thoughts or actions did I take part in? I think the most unhelpful thing was I had moments of just not being present. Like, there wasn't a obvious moment where I was like, oh, that wasn't helpful. It was just more like being unpresent and out of the moment. What did I learn today? I learned today about Manaya, which is my Punamu. I don't know if you can see. And this is a like spiritual, like the connection between the spirit world and the physical world, as well as the sky and the earth and the sea. It's an image of, or it's like created, inspired by a like mythical creature with a bird-like head, a human body, and a fish-like tail. But that's Manaya, and this is my Ponamu that I've had since I was probably like 4. Decided to wear her today, so I learned about that. Today I learned about myself, that connecting to the sky is really important to me, and I was speaking to Tayan about that, and I think it's important for her too. Yeah, and I felt most connected to myself when I just like slowed down and went for a walk. But that was pretty much my day. Like, again, these videos are for me. Hopefully you find something for them. If you don't, that's okay too. Goodbye. I don't have anything more to say.